To be honest, it doesn't even feel like Riverdale anymore.
Who knew that a COVID safety protocol could massively benefit the actors when it came to their makeout scenes? Filming of the 5th season of Riverdale was unlike any other before. The cast and crew had to work with strict new rules for the show to happen as safely as possible. The actors experienced long days, grueling testing, and new hobbies to keep them occupied between takes. Oh yeah, there was also a whole lot of mouthwash on set.
My first day back at work. Yay.
After filming was delayed due to COVID, new safety protocols were put in place so the production could resume filming and get the 5th season off of its feet. Before even being allowed to film, every cast member had to complete a 2-week quarantine. Other protocols included loads of personal protective equipment, so much that the sets looked a bit more like hospitals than TV studios.
Staying safe.
The makeup artists had to wear protective gear whenever getting close to the actors when preparing them for set, in addition to being surrounded by plexiglass dividers. While filming, the actors were also required to monitor their health statuses and got COVID tests 3 times a week. If they didn't adhere to these rules, the actors would be in breach of their contracts and fired from the show.
This is the new norm on set. This is so crazy.
One of the more surprising rules brought on by safety protocols was the introduction of mouthwash before kissing. KJ Apa and Camila Mendes made a whole bit of their mouthwash rinse routine before their on-screen smooching. This was definitely one of the new rules that the actors were major fans of, since everyone who had to do a makeout for the show got to enjoy super fresh breath.
This was really nice.
Usually, a table read will take place in person, with the whole cast and crew together at a literal giant table. But this wasn't possible for Season 5. The very first read took place on Zoom while they were all in quarantine. None of the actors could stay together while isolating, so the whole team was pretty distanced and faced the challenge of trying to connect as dynamically as they do in person. They managed to have a really productive read-through though, making sure everyone had time to catch up and enjoy the excitement of the first day, even if it was different this time around.
Duty calls, mental answers.
Archie and KO's boxing match didn't look this good naturally. Behind the scenes, the boys went through a ton of practice sessions. On top of all their usual prep, the actors were often in fight rehearsals and training to ensure the match could be pulled off without a hitch. For Appa, the work doesn't really end. The actor is required to stay this fit for 10 months of the year, so while it may be tough, it's just a part of the job. One part he definitely excels at.
It's gnarly. It's a hard one.
When they weren't filming, the cast had a whole lot of time on set to wait, so some of them decided to take up some new hobbies. Madelaine Petsch could be found cruising around the Riverdale set and through the trailers on her roller skates. She wasn't the only one though. Lili Reinhart rolled around the set too, at least after some very rough trial and error when she first began learning in a trailer on set. Luckily, she improved, and the actors had a great new way to keep busy and active between filming scenes.
Lord knows where we'll go next.
When they weren't rehearsing for scenes or learning lines, the actors of Riverdale were busy in dance rehearsals. With all the dance sequences they've performed before, the actors are no strangers to extra rehearsal time. With the wild choreography we see in the prom scene and, of course, this incredible dance battle in the gym, it's no surprise that there were many hours spent dancing just to make sure these numbers were on point.
You know, I usually have a rule about annihilating high school students, but you seem insufferable.
The scenes in Riverdale aren't all filmed in order, and some days they would take advantage of the set they were on and spent hours in just one location. One shoot day for scenes at Pops went extremely long, keeping the actors there until 4 a.m.
That means I'll be in first thing in the morning and there until pretty late at night.
Other days, actors are required to be on set before the sun even rises, as early as 6 or 7 a.m.
Well, it is currently 6 a.m.
Since coronavirus interrupted production, the Riverdale storyline had to be adapted. The prom episode that opened the 5th season was originally going to be the finale of Season 4, meaning more than half of the episode had already been filmed before they shot anything in the 5th season. This definitely complicated the plan for the Riverdale team, but also provided them with some great footage to open Season 5 with.
This is a memory you are going to treasure forever.
With much of the 5th season taking place 7 years later, and having not finished the 4th season the way it was meant to happen, some reshuffling and moving around of storylines was key. The original prom finale was meant to include some significant plot points that would set up the 5th season, so instead of diving into the time jump quickly, the production opted to do the series justice and give the characters the proper high school ending, including prom and their graduation.
That's the Riverdale I want our class to remember as we head into the future.
While it may seem that Vanessa Morgan had the best pregnancy prosthetics for season 5, the actress was actually making it work on set while very pregnant in real life.
In a week, I'm 6 months.
Instead of trying to hide it or taking her out of the story, the Riverdale team opted to use the pregnancy and wrote it right into the show. This was huge for the actress, who felt really accommodated and supported by the team, both on screen and behind the scenes. A definite dream situation for Morgan.
My name is Tony Topaz, and I am a guidance counselor at Riverdale High.
Credit must be given to her body as well for working through those long and intense days, all while pregnant on set.
Challenge you to a dance-off. I'm pregnant. Does that mean you forfeit?
If young Hiram Lodge looked familiar, that's because we've seen a spitting image of his face on the screen before. The actor Michael Consuelos is the actual son of Mark Consuelos, so who better to play the younger version of him on screen?
I felt totally prepared for it, and then, I was working with people I knew.
In terms of prep to get into his dad's role, Michael worked on his voice a lot to make sure Hiram's confidence came through.
I took like a billion acting classes to prepare for it.
Otherwise, it was a pretty natural fit. In this case, he really was born with it.
What's my name, Mantle?
Reinhart.
That's right.
Don't you ever forget it.
There was a whole lot more than just lines and blocking to consider when the Riverdale actors were filming their 5th season. Distance often has to be maintained, and everyone had to do their best to remain 6 feet apart. Since there were still some close-up shots that needed to be filmed in close proximity, exceptions were made for those actors to get into each other's personal bubbles, but only for a short period. This made for a lot of speedy scenes to keep everyone as safe as they could.
In this new kind of world that we're living in, there's no downtime on set because they're so quick.
Madelaine Petsch was sometimes applying her own makeup on set to help with distancing and keeping the crew safe.
I just finished my makeup. I actually ended up doing a regular Cheryl look.
Even when her makeup was done by a makeup artist, the actress would apply touch-ups of her own so the look was just right. Petsch is pretty much a pro when it comes to the Cheryl look, so luckily it wasn't too difficult to pull off.
Let's go make a TV show, shall we?
Lili Reinhart and Madelaine Petsch weren't just actors on the Riverdale set. They were also rocking their roles as dog moms between takes. With such long days, the actresses had their pups accompany them to work and spent plenty of quality time with them in their trailers and just wandering around the set.
Walking our puppies, just walking our dogs, trying to find a patch of grass somewhere.
We've loved having Skeet Ulrich portraying Jughead's dad, but as they say, all good things must come to an end. The actor not being part of the 5th season had actually been part of the plan all along. Marisol Nichols was actually meant to leave her role as Veronica's mom as well. Both performers felt it was time to move on, with Ulrich feeling he wasn't being challenged creatively anymore. Fortunately, there was nothing but love from the whole cast and crew and no drama regarding the decision. Nichols, however, did end up returning to Riverdale and brought some great scenes to life.
Come on, Veronica, it's reality television. What do you think we do?
They may have faced some unexpected hurdles and changed their routines, but the cast and crew definitely pulled it off and brought another incredible season of Riverdale to life. While the safety protocols are intense, we have a feeling that the cast might just opt to keep mouthwash before makeouts as a regular practice.